Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're well. Today's video is going to be a bit of a roundup of the books that I have recently been reading and I finished and my thoughts on them. A lot of them were featured in my book haul that I posted, so I'll leave the link to that below so you can check them out and all the other ones that I may not have mentioned. Just to point out, I am a bit kind of blocked up and sound a bit nasally at the moment. I've got a little bit of a cold. I ran a 10k yesterday, the Vitality one in London, and I also haven't had a holiday for ages, so I think it's all catching up with me, so please kind of bear with me with the quality of my voice. But I've got a whole host of books here. It's such a range of genres, so hopefully it will help you if you're picking up your next book. So I'm going to start off with a book that is being raved about at the moment because there is a film out of it, which is Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. I wanted to read this for ages and my sister picked it up for me and I really enjoyed the book. It is kind of more on the chick lit side. It is an easy read, but I like those actually quite a lot when I'm on the train commuting to it from work. I just want something that's kind of easy to pick up and get involved with the story quite easily. It doesn't take too much thinking. What I liked about this is it wasn't your typical kind of chick lit. It actually had a deeper theme running through it. So it is all about someone who comes and who isn't really kind of going anywhere. She loses her job and she becomes a carer for this guy who had everything and then lost it all because of an accident, and it kind of follows their relationship. I'm sure a lot of you know what the ending is. You've probably seen the film already yourself. I don't want to spoil it for you just in case. I did cry at the end. I love a book that is a crier. It's nice to kind of get that involved with the story, and I liked that it just had a bit of a deeper meaning. I know some people felt that it didn't address kind of the issue as much as it should have, but I feel like this kind of book you can't go as in depth because that's not what the kind of book was trying to do. It wasn't trying to go in depth with it. It was just trying to have a bit of a different theme, and it was more about the relationship of the two people rather than the illness and the accident they had. So I really did enjoy it. I think I gave it 3 or 4 stars on Goodreads. I'll link my Goodreads down below as well. But just as a general easy read, I really liked it. I must say I didn't enjoy the film at all. It was such a disappointment. I felt because the screenplay was written by Jojo Moyes, it did keep a lot of the aspects in the book, which I did like, but I just felt Emilia, I think her name is Emilia, the main character, she's in Game of Thrones, she just overacted and it was really awful and just kind of killed the character for me and made the whole story really unbelievable, whereas the person I pictured in here was a lot more believable and you could really kind of get close to the story, which is a shame because I love her in Game of Thrones, but I wouldn't recommend the film, but I would recommend the book. Okay, on to the next one. I'm not really sure how to describe this genre. It's kind of murder mystery, I guess, but it's quite quirky and fun at the same time. This is by Alan Bradley and it's the As Chimney Sweeps Come to Dust. It's in the Flavia de Luce novel series. So I actually want to start this from the beginning. This is my second book from the series. I had one which I picked up in foils on a whim about a year ago and I really enjoyed it. So I got this one, which is, I believe, is the most recent one, so I need to go back and start from the beginning. But I've never read Alan Bradley before, but I really enjoy his style of writing, especially in the series. It's witty, it's fun, you get engrossed in the story. It is all about kind of murders, but in a more fun way because the main character is a young girl. And she's really clever, she's really into chemistry, all that kind of thing, and she solves different murders along the way. So I highly recommend this book and the series in general. Next is another book which is having a film adaptation and it's The Girl on the Train. This has been really popular, so many people rave about it, and it's basically about a girl. Actually, it's completely different. In my haul, I thought it was completely different what it actually was about. So it's about a lady who goes to and from work of the same journey every day. Her life's kind of fallen apart a little bit and she gets very involved with a couple that she sees every day on her commute because the train goes past their garden, and one day the girl isn't there anymore and she recognises her in the paper that something has happened to this girl, and it follows the story of her trying to find out what happened to the lady and also kind of how it's intertwined with her life because she used to live a couple of doors down from this particular couple, although she never knew them because they moved in afterwards. So I love a good kind of murder mystery, I love a thriller, they're really fun, but I just didn't enjoy this book that much. I know a lot of people rave about it, a lot of my friends like it. It's the first Paula Hawkins book that I've read, but I just felt like I could guess the ending. I guessed who it was quite near the beginning. It didn't really grip me that much as I feel that a thriller should. And I just found, like, I enjoyed reading it, but it just wasn't the best thriller I've ever read. I didn't agree that it was as good as everyone else is making out to be. I really liked that the different chapters were in different people's point of view. I really love it when books do that. And I enjoyed that it kind of went between different timings, so past and present as well. So that was a good aspect of it, but I just wasn't gripped by the story. Again, there is a film coming out of it. I saw the trailer actually when it was Me Before You, when I went to see that, and the trailer does actually look pretty good. It might be better as a film. But yeah, I wasn't totally sold on this. I think I gave it 3 stars on Goodreads. Next up, I've got another book which is also in 2 different people's perspectives, and it goes between past and present as well. So you can tell I like that. It's by Cecilia Ahern and it's called The Marble Collector. So this is her newest book, I believe. I really love Cecilia Ahern books. I like that they're so different. Every single book of hers, it always kind of has the same theme and it teaches you a bit of a lesson. But they're all very different, I find, and I always find that I enjoy the characters, I can relate to them, and I like the messages in them, and they're just a bit of a different read. So I love the cover of this as well. I think it's really lovely. That has got a little bit scuffed. And I did enjoy this. It wasn't my favourite Cecilia Ahern book. There are others that I have enjoyed a little bit more. But I really like the relationship between the main character and her father. They're the 2 main characters, and kind of her father growing up in Ireland. And it is all about his relationship with marbles, which sounds a bit weird, and I know nothing about marbles. But it's interesting to see kind of how it's a completely different part of his life, how it made her grow closer with him and understand him more. It wasn't my favourite, but I did enjoy reading it. Next up is one which I bought on a whim in Waterstones. It's called Cricket Heart by Lisa Evans. I never read anything by her. I literally picked it up not only for the cover, but also because it's based in St Albans, where I went to school. So those are the 2 main reasons I picked it up. And this surprised me. I really enjoyed it. I love the style of writing. Again, it was quite funny in some places. I love that I could relate to all the places that were mentioned, like Watford, Luton, I think Pottersbar Barnet was mentioned at some point as well, so all places that are around me. So I really enjoyed those kind of mentions, and I felt like I could really immerse myself in the story because of that. I think it's set in the Second World War or First World War, and basically there's a woman who is kind of quite poor. She has a son who doesn't really respect her or contribute. She's looking after her elderly mother, and she's always trying to do these money spinning ideas, and they never kind of really work out for her. And then there's the boy who is the other main character, and he's living with his, I think, grandma or great aunt or something like that, or godmother, I can't remember, sorry. But basically she's been looking after him since he was really young. He has no parents left, and unfortunately she passes away, and he is then sent, evacuated from where he lives in North London to go and live with the lady here. So, and then they come up with a money making scheme, and although they're very different characters, so it's just Ruben rustling in a carrier bag. Although they're very different characters and they don't really understand each other, they grow to form a bond, and I just really liked the overall story. Again, it was something different to that I've read before, and I liked that it surprised me that I enjoyed it as much as I did. Another genre is historical fiction, and this is The Taming of the Queen by Philippa Gregory. This one is about Catherine Parr, which I don't actually know much about. She was the last queen of Henry VIII. The Tudor period is my favourite period of history. I did my dissertation on Elizabeth I, so I really enjoyed it. I liked learning more about Catherine Parr and her life. Obviously I know some of it's embellished for the story, but I enjoyed learning more. I found the story quite gripping. I enjoyed the style of writing. It was quite descriptive, and it is written kind of reflecting that time period, the way the words are constructed and how things are described, but I enjoyed it, and it wasn't too much hard work, if that makes sense. It wasn't convoluted at all, and I like that it's obviously set in lots of different places in England when they move about to the different palaces and things, and there was a lot mentioned in Hampton Court Palace, which I used to live around there, so I enjoy it for that reason too. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I read it quite a while ago, so I can't remember 100% all the kind of details, but if you're into your historical fiction, Philippa Gregory is a really good place to start. 2 more books left. One is another one I was given by my sister. It's called The Light Between Oceans by M.L. Stedman, and this was a bit of a weird one. I'd never heard of it, I hadn't asked for it, and I wasn't sure how I felt about it. This book, I'm not really sure about it. I enjoyed reading it, but I wasn't eager to finish it. It's based in Australia, or an island off Australia. It follows 2 people's stories again. It follows the story of the main character, who is a man. He served in the war, he lost his mum at a young age, and he therefore didn't have a very close relationship with his father and the rest of his family. So when his mother died, he decided to join the army, or Navy, or I think it was the army, serve in the war, and after that he decided to become a watchman on a lighthouse. So he decided to do that, but before he left the port, he met this girl, ended up getting married, and unfortunately they couldn't have children, and then 2 bodies wash up, one of a man and one of a baby, and the baby's still alive, and it's basically, the whole theme is centred around what is right and wrong, whether it's right individually for yourself or as a whole what is viewed as right and wrong in the world. So it really plays a lot on that kind of dynamic, which was quite interesting for me, and it was whether they were going to keep the baby and pass it off as their own or not, and it follows that story. I did like the imagery in the book, I liked the way it was written. I just couldn't identify with the characters that much, and the ending frustrated me. I knew it was the right ending. The way the story developed was definitely the right way it should have, but it's frustrating because I wanted something different to happen. So I did enjoy it, but I wasn't wowed by it. I'm not sure why I didn't enjoy it as much as maybe I would have. And then finally, I kind of wish I hadn't done this one as final, because I'm kind of ending on a bum note, but this is the new Sophie Kinsella book, which is Shopaholic to the Rescue. I absolutely adore the Shopaholic series. I think most girls probably do, maybe boys, I don't know, but I know most girls do. Again, they're an easy read. I love following Becky Bloomwood. She is just a fun character to follow. I like all of the characters actually mentioned throughout the series, and they're always just quite funny. This book though just didn't have the same feeling as all the others which I've read. I just felt like it was a really non-story which went off on a tangent and added nothing to the series. I feel like you could miss this out easily and you wouldn't feel kind of like you've missed anything if she goes on to create a book afterwards. I just felt the whole story was kind of really unbelievable. It's about them trying to find her dad and her best friend's husband, because they've gone off to right a wrong which they don't know anything about, and it's trying to find out about that. But it wasn't that funny. I just felt like the whole story was a bit of a waste of time. Yeah, and it just really disappointed me. Okay, so my voice is getting really croaky now, and those are all the books that I've read in the last couple of months, so it's probably time for me to go. But thank you so much for watching. I hope it was okay. I'm not great at describing things. I'm not kind of refined booktuber, so I hope that I explained the books well to you. If you want to know my ratings again, my Goodreads is down below, and I'd love it if you wanted to be friends with me and we can kind of share recommendations together. Let me know what you think of the books I mentioned, if you loved them or hated them or have different opinions to me, and also I would love to see some recommendations from you guys as well of the next books to pick up. I need to do a bit of a haul really. I'm running out of books on my to read list. And thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys!